Hi, Orange Girl here with another scrapbooking process video for you. I am working with Flair from a Flair for Buttons today, and I am also working with some Shimmerz Paints. When you purchase from Shimmerz Paints, if you put my name in the comment section, you will earn a little mini surprise that will come with your order. Okay, so let's get started here. These are the photos I'm going to use. They are my daughter, and big surprise, since almost everything I scrap is one of my daughters. And she's outside playing the ukulele, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. What I'm doing here is I had decided that I wanted to use the Hip Kit Club kit that I had opened but not had a chance to use at all yet. And so I went ahead and grabbed it and decided I'm just doing it. I'm using it for these photos. So I'm kind of going through the ephemera pack. I really like these frames, and I decided I wanted to use that black frame, and I do end up using that. And this is what I usually do. I just kind of sort through my ephemera as I go, looking for things that might work with my design, which I have no idea what I'm doing at this point as far as design goes, but colors and title and what my story is going to be about. And I thought This Is Magic, which came in the kit. It was in the ephemera pack actually from Maggie Holmes, and it came right in there, and I thought that would be a perfect title, so I am going to use that as my title. At this point, I decide I really wanted to fussy cut these flowers. As soon as I saw this paper, this is Amy Tangerine, as soon as I saw it, I knew I wanted to fussy cut this, this paper. I cut one cluster out, and I don't end up using this at all. I use this paper as kind of a border on my final layout, but I don't use this. I will use this though for sure on another layout because I absolutely love the colors and design. I love that it's outlined in black, and I do so many things where I like color with pops of black. So what I ended up doing instead is I found another piece of pattern paper in the kit that is by Maggie Holmes, and I pretty much cut, well, at this point I haven't cut them all out, but I've cut quite a few of them out as I'm working with this now, and I really like these. They're so pretty. And the pink is it looks mostly pink here, but it's really kind of a peachy pink, and it's so pretty, and it goes with the Flair that I end up choosing just beautifully, as well as the Shimmerz Paint. You can kind of see it, the paint up there at the top that I'm going to end up using. So also in this kit came the kit, just as usual, everything matches so nicely together. And so these are Amy Tangerine hearts. They're puffy hearts that came in the kit, and I love them with this collection. So, and there's like black accents in it also, and that with the black frame, and then what I'm using there is a border. I just like the way that all looks together. And I end up using a piece of black Flair as well as we go. So as I'm just kind of trying to decide, I end up actually changing the whole idea of this layout in a little bit here. You'll see me after I do all of the painting. So at this point, I know I'm going to use the flowers. I think I'm going to cluster all those flowers around the photo just kind of like that. But I know I wanted to use some shimmers behind everything. So here in a minute, I'm going to clean this all off and go ahead and apply my Shimmerz products. What I'm using today are kind of four, I think, different shimmers, but I'm using the packaging technique. This one here is a Creameez product, and it's called Grapefruit, and I just put it on the packaging, and this is just packaging from probably some sort of scrapbooking project, and then I go ahead and just kind of smoosh it on the page, and I'm going kind of around, and I'm going to add 3 different colors. Now I do end up using this one. It's a Coloringz, I think, Peachy Keen, I think is what I'm using there, and that what you just saw, I think, is about the only time I use that. I kind of forgot until I saw this video here as I was doing this voiceover that I even used that, but this is another one. It's called Dandelion. It's a Creameez product as well. So when you get your Creameez, they're hard. They're not, you have to apply some water, and it says it right on there. You apply some water. I just use a little spray bottle, and I spray some water into the little containers there, and it you just let it sit there for a little bit, and the longer you let it sit, the more saturated the color is, and so on. And so I did that kind of before I started, because I knew I was going to use those colors because they matched the papers so well. I just got those out when I started, and they were ready by the time I was ready to use them. So the greenish color there that I'm using is Oh Say Can You See, and that is a Coloringz product that I sprayed on there, and I also use the packaging technique. When I'm doing some layering with the paint, I oftentimes kind of do a beginning layer with the packaging technique. Then I come in with my brush and I add some splatters, and then I smush some more with the packaging, and then I add some more. I wipe some off. I'm mostly not trying to wipe it off as much as I am trying to dry it quickly so that I can add another layer on top. And so that's just kind of the process that you're seeing me do there. So now I'm going to try to add all of this stuff back on, and then somewhere in here is where I end up deciding in a few minutes here that I think I actually walk away and come back to it, and I decide I want to flip it so that the pictures are going the other way. So let me talk about what's kind of going on in this photograph and what my story is. I will do probably some more layouts with Bee and her ukulele, because this whole summer has been all about catching butterflies, sometimes toads, but mostly the butterflies and the ukulele, and then my dad. And that's kind of what the summer really was spent doing. And it continues to be mostly about those things. And what she's done is, when she first got the ukulele, which was actually the day before my father passed away, she started playing with it a lot. And but she knew a couple chords. And this is where I decided to change the orientation. So I'll come back to that in a second. I end up deciding to change the orientation, and I like the way this looks in the end better because I like the placement of the title, and then I have a space for my journaling that worked out really well. And so now I'm just kind of rearranging what I have here, and I will start gluing here pretty soon. And when I start gluing everything down, I speed it up even faster because it's kind of silly to watch somebody glue things. But it gives you an idea. I just add, once I get everything back on here, then I just do a few more things with it at this speed, and then I'll speed it up and start gluing things down. So anyway, once Bee realized that when you learn about 3 chords, one day she had been practicing these 2 chords over and over and over. And I said, hey, let me show you something, because they were like, they were like the root and the fifth of the scale or of the key. So I said, if you learn this chord, then with these 3 chords, you'll be able to play songs. And I started playing a song, and I sang one of the songs that I play often on the guitar, and she just was like, whoa. And it's all she wrote. She's just played it ever since then. And so I think it's also helped with the process of, it's just been somewhat therapeutic for her as we've kind of ventured through this last month and a half, or almost 2 months now, of the grieving process. And she's just done really well. And what happened once she learned that she could learn songs is not exactly what you might think. She didn't learn songs. What she started to do was write songs, and she has been writing songs ever since. And so that's what this layout is really about, is about her writing songs, and her dad catching her sitting. He's above her, obviously, standing on the deck looking down at her as she's out there in the backyard, sitting on kind of like this big wheel sort of thing, and playing the ukulele over and over, the same chords, and coming up with lyrics to her songs. And it's just been so much fun to watch. She has a lot of musical influences in her life. I was actually a music teacher, and I taught piano lessons for years, and so music's been pretty important in my life. And her father, he is definitely a musician, and he does a lot of his own writing and recording and such. And so she comes by it rather naturally. But it's just been fun to see her do at, age 9, and actually she's been doing it for a few years, her write these lyrics that actually are pretty amazing. And I have done a couple of layouts about this before. So what I'm doing here is I have decided that I wanted to just kind of use the top and the bottom to add this border and not all the way around, and I wanted to rip it and have it look messy. What I don't know, I don't understand myself sometimes, like, why am I doing this before I glue everything down? Like, what happened was I started to glue stuff down, and then I was like, oh, I think I want to do this, and so I just did it and didn't finish gluing things down, and so I just had to keep moving things around a lot. But anyway, so what I did there was I put some foam behind the photo because that frame kind of sticks up a lot, and so this way the pictures don't fall into the frame, they fit quite nicely. So now I'm really going to start gluing the majority of this down and speed it up for you. So anyway, so the whole layout really is about her and her playing the ukulele, her obsession with the ukulele, and that she's writing her own songs, and her dad caught these couple of photos that I thought were kind of cute, and so I will no doubt do some more layouts featuring the ukulele, but at this point this is, I think, one of my first ones, to be honest. I have a ton of pictures of her with the ukulele, so I'll probably have some more coming, so just kind of a spoiler alert there. So as I'm gluing things down, I'm trying to make sure that I have some balance to my layout, a little bit of a visual triangle with the two pieces of Flair that are kind of that peach color, as well as the heart down at the bottom that is that same sort of color. And then I also have two black hearts and then a black piece of Flair. So you can look at it like that kind of rule of, like that whole idea of a visual triangle. You can kind of look at it several different ways, because you could look at the three pieces of Flair, the different as a visual triangle. You could look at it as the hearts as a visual triangle, but it just kind of worked for me. And what I find interesting, as I'm doing the voiceover, I'm noticing, and as I looked at the photographs, as I took the photographs of the layout that you'll see here coming up soon, I realized that it almost looks like the flowers are in the shape of a heart behind this photo, and that was not what I was going for at all, but it ends up looking like that, and I kind of like it. I mean, it's not like a straight up heart, but kind of a little messy heart. But so the other thing that I'm doing here is some of the little itty bitty flowers that I cut out. I cut out and I popped them up off the page a bit. I didn't pop up most of the flowers because they just worked better flat, but I didn't glue down the leaves, and so that gave it a little bit of texture as well. So there you go, there are the close-ups, and here come the final product again here at the end. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and I will see you in the next video.